Welfare system. The next system I would like to discuss is the welfare system. This, too, is a man-made system that puts people in bondage to the government. Then, guess what happens? The government is now their source. Now, just like all man-made systems, it tries to copy God's system. The government is willing to take care of you, but it will cost you something. The cost is control of your life. This is the modern-day version of slavery. If you look back to the slave days, the slave relied on the master for all his needs. This would include shelter, food, clothing, and health care. The master was the slave's source. Fast forward to 2013, and we will see not too much has changed. It's just in a more modern form. In 2013, there are more people on welfare in America than ever before in history. The definition of master: one who has control over another or others. The definition of a slave: one bound in servitude as the property of a person or household. We have generations who are growing up on this man-made system. Just like in the slavery days, these generations believe this is a normal way of life. There's nothing normal about giving up control of your life and being in bondage to a master. God created us to be free. Sure, there has been an economic crisis, but that just proves that the man-made systems don't work. In order to fix one system that failed, the government is using this opportunity to expand another system which will fail eventually. All man-made systems fail at some point in time because they are made by man, and he is not perfect. God is perfect, and that is why his systems work all the time, no matter the circumstances. There is no incentive to get off food stamps, SNAP. The system encourages people to keep using it. If you don't have to work and you have food in the fridge, why would you go look for work? The longer people stay on the system, the harder it is for them to get off, and the more control they give up. Once the system has them, then the recipients must follow the system rules. This is where an individual begins to compromise their freedom. Once the system becomes their source, the recipient, slave, will do whatever the master wants to keep the benefits coming to them. An example of this would be to vote for a political party because that party supports this social program. The recipient is now in bondage to the master. During the writing of this book, my wife and I both lost our jobs. We both tried to get unemployment and were denied. We are not receiving any type of government assistance at all. In Illinois, where I worked, that does not happen very often. The government usually rules in favor of the employee, not the employer. I believe this denial is part of God's plan for him to be our only true source. We are truly living this book in real life. In Proverbs 6:9-11, it says, "How long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come on you like a prowler, and your need like an armed man." Also in Proverbs 10:4, it says, "He who has a slack hand becomes poor, but the hand of the diligent makes rich." In Proverbs 12:24, it says, "The hand of the diligent will rule, but the lazy man will be put to forced labor." In Proverbs 14:23, "In all labor there is profit, but idle chatter leads only to poverty." In Proverbs 19:24, "A lazy man buries his hand in the bowl, and will not so much as bring it to his mouth." Also in Proverbs 24, "The lazy man will not plow in winter. He will beg during harvest and have nothing." Proverbs 26:13-16 reads, "The lazy man says, 'There is a lion in the road. A fierce lion is in the streets.' As a door turns on its hinges, so does the lazy man on his bed. The lazy man buries his hand in the bowl. It wearies him to bring it back to his mouth. The lazy man is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men who can answer sensibly."